regardless of what you think.
Well, the goal of that was not to hang out with them. The goal was to see if I could make a conversation out of nothing.
I know. I'm just bringing it around.
Right.
But I'm just saying, I hope for as long as possible, your reality of when I visualize it always comes true and if things go to plan. I hope that continues forever. I really do. But, I remember for me when that changed, how it shattered my world. When I realized that it doesn't always work like that.
Right.
And you can plan and do everything perfectly and sometimes God just says no. It's not going to work this way. This is how it's going to work. And it really, really had a huge long-term impact on me. So hopefully you never experienced, but I think
I'm down to experience it. I'm down to experience it. The benefit of social media is that everyone's already done it online in front of me. I watched Logan Paul put everything into this boxing thing and then get fucking beaten by KSI. I couldn't even like come to terms with the fact that he lost. I could not believe he lost because he put so much intention. He called it out. He manifested. He like documented the whole journey. I was in on it. And I was like, dude, Logan Paul is going to like, it's going to be insane. And he's going to like motivate all these kids and be an inspiration. It's going to be so cool. Like all he's got to do is just knock out KSI round like the second fight. It's going to be insane. And then they got to the end of the thing. It ended up going to a decision by the judges, split decision. KSI wins. And I remember he goes KSI's over here with his hand up. KSI's over here with his hands up, and they're all like about to say, okay, like here's the winner. And they go from the United Kingdom. And I remember being like, and like I remember Logan just literally like disbelief, and like everyone was just like, a lot of people were excited, but like for me, like I was so invested in that journey, and I could not believe that he put all this stuff in to win. And then he lost. I was like, what? Like it was unbelievable. So I'm ready for those things. I know they're gonna come. And there's times where I trust me, it fucking fails. And I'm like, wow. I guess I don't think about it too much. I just know that with intentional work, more often than not, I can. If not anything, it'll just build me up more as a character and a personality.
No, for sure. So I'll tell you the story because there's only my story a bit because there's only 6 people. Not many people will watch this to the end. So I feel, and I've seen the guys who are commenting. I know almost all of them. So I feel that I can be a little bit vulnerable. So I'll tell you, everything was going according to plan in my life. I was very much like you, Cade. I'll say in my early 20s, very, very much like you. I also had long blonde hair, not as long as yours, but also long, down like this. I might have I'll show you.
Yeah, you got a photo? Go find that photo. Damn, guys, Philip is gonna find the true alpha here.
No. So this isn't the best photo of me. There's definitely better ones. It's just one in arm's reach, just to show you the hair. But you can see.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I was a player, man, a ladies boy or whatever. But everything had gone according to the way. If I wanted a job as a waiter somewhere, I got that job. If I wanted a girl, 99% of the time I got the girl.
Right.
Everything went to plan. And then, Bianca and I got married. That was planned. Amazing. And, about 2 or 3 years into marriage, Bianca really I wanted children also, but she was ready for children and I potentially wasn't. And that's what I was saying, that that's one of the things I had in mind. At some point, you're not going to be 100% ready for everything all the time. Yeah. If you're 90% ready, it's the time to do it, because if you overanalyze it, you'll never do it. So, we've been married maybe 2 or 3 years, I think 3 years. And we had traveled extensively. I already had Perkel for a while. I was quite successful. We went all the way around Europe. We went all the way to the States. We went to a Caribbean cruise for 2 weeks all around there. We went to Thailand. We really enjoyed a lot, and because we knew when we started having children, we weren't going to have an opportunity to do those sort of things. So I get very, very busy at work over this period of time. November, December in promotional products are very, very busy. So I said, look, let's plan to have a child, but let's do it that,
so it's not that exact
have the
time.
Child over December, January, February, rather than October, November, December. So that's what we did. We went to a family planner and look, this is when and this is how and whatever. And we started trying to fall pregnant, and we fell pregnant immediately, which you'll realize is actually quite rare.
Yeah.
We didn't know at the time that it was rare, and of course, that's how things work for me. We plan and it works. So now we're pregnant. The babies are due the end of December, early January. Amazing. Everything's going to plan like it always does. Of course.
Oh boy.
We go for a scan about a month or 6 weeks into Bianca being pregnant. And the lady says, look, there's two twins. So hold on, I never planned for twins. That wasn't in the plan. That's a bit hectic. Okay, double blessing. Both Bianca and I were shocked. Great. We go for a scan a couple of weeks later. Look, there's two, and one of them's got a heart condition, a problem with their heart, right? I need you to go immediately to go see a pediatric cardiologist, but there's a problem at least with one of the hearts. Okay, we now go. We have to wait for 2 days to get an appointment, which was like hell. We go to this cardiologist who scans in Bianca's tummy, and he says, look, they both have heart conditions. Okay, both of your babies have got heart conditions. This is very common with identical twins. Just to give a statistic, 1 out of 3 sets will have a heart problem. Wow. Whereas if you just a single baby, 1 out of 100 single babies will have a heart problem. So there's definitely some correlation between identical twins. Now, identical twins themselves are high risk. Really, you can lose both. If you lose one, you lose both because they share a placenta, whatever. So those 9 months were absolute hell. Not knowing if we would get through it, not knowing if we'd have any babies to show for it. I've got letters that I've never looked at that I wrote when Bianca was still pregnant, saying if you guys can, please hold out, and I promise you I'll look after you. If you can't, I understand. If you need to know, we thought we were going to lose them. Okay. Yeah. And then they were born, and Danny's heart condition was very, very serious. And it's such a long story, but 3 months into his life, he had open heart surgery. And that was the most first of all, just to go back, they were 6 weeks premature. They came in November, my busiest time. Okay, just to go back. I mean, just that's the one thing. So now there's 2, and it came in the busiest time, and now we got heart conditions. So now my new baby, I'm a new dad. My 3-month-old is in ICU on tubes and ventilators and God knows what. That you have to sign a thing before that. He might end up paralyzed. The most terrible things. I'm a new dad. Bianca's sleeping at the hospital. I'm looking after this other baby, 3-month-old, who's sensing that his brother's not there. Both of us just crying our eyes out every night. I don't know. I can't breastfeed a child. I mean, it was just an absolute nightmare. That whole year, Danny was backwards and forwards from ICU, would get him home, and then he'd go blue and would have to run to the hospital. That puncture his lungs. He came back on oxygen. It was a fucking nightmare. My whole life was turned upside down. And somehow we got through that first year of hell, backwards and forwards to hospital. Bianca and I barely sleeping. One of us at the hospital. I don't even know. I don't even remember working. I did, but I've no idea. And then, after we sort of got through it, and Danny's still on a lot of medicine now, and we've got that stress of him always with his heart, but when it sort of got okay, that he was no longer on oxygen at home and the medicines were sort of right, at that stage, when it all sank in what had happened, I mean, I just fell to pieces, bro. I really did. And I'm a strong guy. And so I'm just saying, they're my biggest blessings. All my children, my 3 children, my wife. I'm a family guy. That is my thing. And I wouldn't change it. If you said to me, look, this is what you'd have to go through in order to have these beautiful children and wife, I would do it. But that's not what we planned. And we're still dealing with the effects of them being so they're in remedial school where, they're still struggling to read and write at 9 years old. They've been in occupational therapy, OT, and speech for 9 solid years. It's a full-time thing, and I wouldn't change it. I'm just saying sometimes we make plans and God laughs. And God sees the bigger picture. I think everything is for the better in the bigger picture. Like we're seeing one piece of a puzzle, one small piece of a big puzzle. And we're looking at this. We don't even know that it's part of a tree. It just looks green. And one day when we pass on, we look and we can see the whole puzzle and we understand, look, we had to go through that, but Danny, because of X, Y, Z. But sometimes in this world, you don't get that understanding of why you had to go through certain things. And despite everything and all the best intentions and best planning, and sometimes God laughs when we make plans, and that's what it is. And that's what I was thinking of when I was saying, you got to know that there's curveballs, even no matter what. And for a guy like me who was always used to things going the way I planned them, that shock of not being in control and realizing after that what do I have control over? And struggling with that, knowing that I don't have control that I thought I had, and that it's out of my control, was very tough and a big adjustment for me.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking powerful. Thanks for sharing that. I'm sure the people who are watching were probably like, "Fuck, that's fucking crazy, dude. That is super crazy."
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was.
Well, if that's not motivation for you,
that's a bit depressing.
no, it's not depressing. Not depressing. It's just it's just lots of power. It's really powerful. It's really powerful. I mean, you were on top of the world, got completely fucked over. I mean, that's a weird way to say that, but like everything went against you for a while, and that's just how it was. But now you're even more of a dope guy, more of a like a genuine guy. You probably have way more security within yourself because you survived something as like big as that, with something that has that much gravity to it. It's not just some little thing or even like a business, it's like, that's like your offspring. So
and
either way,
Bianca and I often say to each other during like sort of tough times, we often say, look, we don't know how we got through that first year, but if we can get through that, we can get through anything. And that's the truth, because really I've never experienced anything like that, and like being touch and go. I mean, thinking, and bro, you got to sign these things before he goes into hospital, then before he has the operation. Then they say to you, look, and we knew none of this, which one of the parents is going in the operating theater? So we both look at each other like, what do you mean? They're like, no, one of you has to go in while we put him under so that he doesn't get freaked out. So obviously, like, I'm the husband, I'm the dad, so I go in. Bro, having to look at your child thinking, is this the last time I'm going to see him? And he's looking at me in my eyes like, Dad, what is going on? And I have to try reassure him with my eyes that it's going to be okay when I don't know that it's going to be okay. Damn. And I did that. And the second he was under, so the second that gas put him under, I just collapsed in that theater. Like I was like was smiling as if everything was okay. Once I know that I'd done my job, they had to carry me out of there. I mean, I thought I would never see him again. Honestly and truly, it was just absolute hell. Dude, but I've got a beautiful boy. I've got to show you a picture of them now because it is a feel-good story. I've got 3 beautiful boys to show for it.
Dude.
I need to find a recent picture. Otherwise, it's just...
If you're watching this, even click that like button. Click that like button for that story. That's fucking inspirational.
I don't even care about the likes, man. This is Danny. He's now 9. He's my boy with the heart condition. And here's his twin brother. Wow, they're looking like big boys now.
They get along?
Yeah, beautifully, and they're so nice. I mean, obviously they fight all day, but when push comes to shove, they look after each other. This is his twin Jake, and then this is my 6-year-old little Raffy Doodle. And he's an amazing boy. He thinks he's a triplet. He wants to do whatever.
Telling me that. Yeah.
That's he wants funny, to do whatever his brothers do, and he's such a brilliant boy now because literally, if they're able to ride their bike, 5 years ago, he learns to ride his bike, even though he's 3 years behind them. He's doing everything that they do. His brothers can't swim and him not swim, you know?
That's hilarious. Dude, listen, I gotta head out of here. I have a meeting in like 4 or 5 minutes here, but this is a great fucking episode. And for people who are watching, I feel like we just dropped serious fucking NFT life and all alpha, business alpha, all the things. So that was great, 100%, man. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for joining us. I hope you all got value on many levels. Cade, thank you as always, and we'll see you next week for another amazing show.
Peace, guys. Subscribe.
Ciao.